What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the Horrible Show. Keeks is doing something weird. I don't know if you've ever tried to explain to a deaf dog that you're just gonna pull a tick off of her with a pair of tweezers, but it was like trying to explain an exorcism to my dad. She's doing better though. Quite the task. I'm like, listen, I'm trying to help you. Welcome back to the Horrible Show. My name is Trez. We are Casa de Lazy Eye and Deaf Dog. Lazy Eyes, Deaf Dog. How you guys doing? It's been a little while. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope everything is going okay in your lives. You might hear some background noise, like I have my fans rolling. My air conditioning is rolling too. It is hot. It is hot here in the dirty south of the United States. I was even walking. I got a little bit of sun today, walking with Keeks after work. But yeah, I was so happy to do the Scream Factory special features video that I was happy to do the playlist of finding the stuff on YouTube and then getting and sending it over to you guys in that video. But so I compiled a little video of my favorite documentaries that are already on YouTube. These are not necessarily from any physical media release, but these are ones that I've watched probably on YouTube, probably about 30 times each since the quarantine and all that stuff has already started. I don't think this is quite a top 10, but it's gonna be around that. And I'm gonna leave a playlist down in the description below as well for you guys to watch. And these have been pretty good, not being flagged or anything on YouTube. These have been on for a long time. But like I said, if you like this content, if you like the Horrible Show, why not like, comment, and subscribe? Because we're going to be doing stuff like this all the time. It's what I just like to do. I like talking to you guys about the things that I like in horror. So I appreciate your time, and I appreciate your knowledge on horror movies, because you guys teach me something all the time. You guys teach me how to live. You teach me how to you complete me. What movie is that from? I don't even know what movie that's from. You had me at hello. Alright, of course I got some coffee. Alright, so the first one, I got my laptop pulled up right here. Got my handy dandy glasses. I'm quite obsessed with this program that I guess it aired on the BBC. That's called The History of Horror with Mark Gatiss. I'm gonna say Gatiss? Gatiss. So Mark Gatiss, I don't know who he is. I haven't had cable, let alone any kind of BBC channel, in probably like 10 years. So I don't know exactly who this guy is, but I freaking like him. I like listening to English people talk because I feel, one, smarter, and then two, smarter. So there's altogether broken up into hour-length episodes. There's a history of horror with Mark Gatiss. And first he does like the old school, like Frankenstein's and Dracula's, into the universal horrors, and then he'll go into part 2, which is more like the Hammer horror, and then like the 50s, 60s, 70s, like coming in to what I would call, I hate to say the modern age, but it's kind of difficult to call anything from the 70s like modern, but it's not like a silent movie. I don't know. I know this is going to change a lot because I'm getting older. We're going to have to start calling it something. But and then number 3 in the series with Mark Gatiss is the American Scream. So that's probably like I remember it being like the grindhousey like 80s slasher, like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, stuff like that. So this is the unofficial 4th part that I put on the playlist. There's something called Horror Europa with Mark Gatiss too. So this is a in-depth, just European side of horror, which is an hour and a half. So that means you have the history of horror with Mark Gatiss. You have 3 hour-long episodes, so you have 3 hours, and then you have the Horror Europa, which is an hour and a half in itself. So that's like, for me, I'll put that on. That's like an all-day thing for me. I'll watch that, no problem. Another documentary that I'm putting on the list is the Best Worst Movie. This was not on YouTube for the longest time, and I believe within the past year this came up because I know I was trying to find the documentary, and I just had to end up buying the Troll and Troll 2 double pack from what do you call that company? Eureka? From Eureka. And the Best Worst Movie is such a good documentary of people that don't take themselves too seriously, and how Troll 2 has had such a cult following over the years. And my first experience with Troll 2 is I remember going to the video store with my brother, and then uh, have y'all ever had the experience where you watch a movie where you're so young that you try to remember it? Of course, you don't remember the name of it, and then you think you just made it all up. And I remember explaining to my brother when we were teenagers, I was like, dude, do you remember that movie where the like goblin things turn people into plants? He was like, what are you talking about, bro? And then a couple years later, I was like, oh, it was Troll 2. And a lot of people know about this movie. So I think it's weird how sometimes documentaries can actually be better than the movie. Like, it's a toss-up, especially if, let's say if I have a physical media release, let's say if I pop in a Screen Factory, right? And let's say the Screen Factory has a feature-length documentary. If I'm in the mood to watch the movie, I think watching a feature-length documentary on it is equally as entertaining or as important. Because I remember the other day I was gonna watch Night of the Demons, right? And then I put on Night of the Demons, like I popped in the Blu-ray, and then I was like, well, let me just watch this documentary. And it was like watching the movie. I don't know if you guys get that same vibe, but just incredible amounts of rewatch value for me. In the 90s, the Sci-Fi Channel, I don't know how it is now, but I know it can't be as good. It used to be awesome. I remember the first time watching The Fly, David Cronenberg's The Fly. There was this, when the Blair Witch Project came out, there were two documentaries that came out like, so found footage was not a big thing at all in the 90s, especially when the Blair Witch came out. So they would show, I remember specifically seeing this documentary, like mockumentary, called Curse of the Blair Witch on the Sci-Fi Channel, and it convinced you that these actions were real. So it got you hyped up for the movie, and then you would watch this thing on Sci-Fi, and then you'd go to the movie theater and watch the Blair Witch Project because you thought everything was freaking real, and you thought these people were really dead, and you thought there was really a Blair Witch. There's a Master of Horror documentary on here that talks with Cronenberg and Wes Craven. It's hosted by Bruce Campbell, and this is one of the many classic 90s, 2000s documentaries that Sci-Fi did around Halloween time. Hopefully one thing that this playlist will do is get you kind of in that Halloween mood, because that's a main theme for a lot of these documentaries. A lot of these were shown on TV, and a lot of these were shown around Halloween time, which brings back crazy nostalgia. It brings back so many good memories for me, and really to the heyday of what was cable for a horror fan in the United States. Yeah, so the next thing we have is the American Nightmare, which is a documentary which I believe originally showed, it's IFC produced, but I know it originally showed on the Stars channel, and for a little while you could buy this DVD. You could buy the American Nightmare DVD. I remember it being on sale. And I believe it has George Romero, I believe it has Wes Craven. I remember this one being the American Nightmare, of course it's a little political, but what are horror movies but a political, sometimes even political satire about the generation that they're made. Alright, last but not least on these, I'm going to take a trip through nostalgia right now. Back in the day, when I was growing up, I feel people really paid attention to the Halloween holiday. I feel like in the heyday of Nickelodeon, they always had a Halloween special for your favorite shows when you were a kid. I feel like channels played a lot of horror movies, and it wasn't just one channel, it was like all of them. I feel like people really got into the Halloween spirit and really celebrated horror movies, and I don't think that is being done the same way today. Or maybe maybe all that stuff just went to creators on YouTube. It's weird because, alright, so the next thing I'm gonna talk about is I don't even know if Bravo's a channel anymore. Bravo used to be a channel in the United States. I'm sure it was in the UK too, but Bravo used to have this program called the 100 Scariest Movie Moments, and every time this would come on, I'd be like, nope, I'm watching this, because most of the time they would show the whole countdown. It would be like it'd be like a 4-hour ordeal with commercials. The Bravo 100 Scariest Movie Moments, I was introduced to so many movies that I hadn't known about before, because other than like browsing the video store, so this stuff came out whereas like pre-YouTube. Before YouTube, there were these, you could get like a compilation horror movie video. Like if you look on Amazon for a thing called Boogeymen, it was like it took clips from horror movies and compiled them together, which is essentially like they did things via home video that are essentially what the YouTube platform is today. So the Bravo 100 Scariest Movie Moments is 100% YouTube before YouTube, because they don't do anything like this today. So what you're gonna have like hour or half-hour segments that go through about 20 movies each, going all the way down to 100. To what the people on the show might seem a little dated now. Some of them at the time I didn't even know who they were, but you have the dudes from Broken Lizards, which is like Super Troopers. I don't know how relevant they are to people today. They're a pretty big name, like in comedy, when I was growing up and a teenager. You have Eli Roth, and you have a couple other people that do a pretty good in-depth analysis on some of these movies. It's really cool to hear Eli Roth talk about some movies on this list, because this is him like right after Cabin Fever came out. So he's still like, approachable, and he's still approachable today, but you could tell he's just a fanboy, which is amazing to see. I first heard about Jacob's Ladder. Maybe Rosemary's Baby. I first heard about Rosemary's Baby. I first heard about The Prude from this. Like, there's so many movies that these people are talking about that I first heard of at the time. So what I did is that I put every they have the countdown broken up into blocks, and then they even a couple years after the 100 Scariest Movie Moments came out, they did it like another 30 more scarier movie moments, and I put both of those on there as well. So altogether you have about 130. But sadly, depending on what country you're in, of the 100 movie moments, sections number 50 out of 31 are blocked off in America, at least. But I know you could do a quick Wikipedia search or Google search. I know that sucks. It sucks watching something and then you can't watch 50 to number 30. It's kind of a buzzkill, but it's still quite enjoyable, and I thoroughly recommend it. You're still gonna get a lot of entertainment hours out of this. So I've definitely, if you got time to check it out. Why not? So altogether, this is a whole day. Altogether, this is a whole day. If you got nothing else going on, if you don't have any new movies that you want to watch, if you just want to sit back and almost watch TV-esque stuff when there's no TV-esque stuff good on regular TV, come back to this little playlist. I'm definitely going to do a part 2, but I'm going to keep this playlist and I'm gonna just keep on adding to it. But I really wanted to let you guys know about this one, because I really enjoy this. I'm not gonna say this might be illegal, but I'm not gonna say I burned these to DVDs a long time ago. So sometimes I just pop them in. But if that's illegal, I totally didn't do that. But if it's legal, I did it. 100%. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys for always being there. I hope you're doing fantastic. I hope your family's doing well. Okay. Much love, you guys. Remember to tell people you love them. Give them hugs. I think we're getting too old as human beings for all this hate and all this bullshit. So let's try to love each other, man. I sound like a total hippie, but that's the only thing that's gonna save us. Thank you guys so much. You guys are always amazing. Like I said, if you like this video, like, comment, and subscribe. But I will see you later.